Today's Extra.
Welcome back into the Anglers Extra pregame show ahead of game number 21 on the Cape League season. We're past the halfway point at this point. We're here at Stony Brook Field. It's time for Catch of the Day with Dane Burns. I'm Hudson Ridley. Dane, last night a rain delay, lightning delay. For the guys in the bullpen, what is that delay like?
You know, it gets pretty boring sometimes. You know, you never know what's going on. You never know if you're going to finish the game, especially here with the fog and everything too. And then, you know, we knew there was some bad weather coming in. It's really just hanging tight and staying locked in. You know, you never know when your name's going to get called. So, you know, when it does, you have to be ready even when the game feels like it could not happen.
Tate Carey got the call at that point. Did you guys know it was going to be Tate?
Honestly, I didn't know who it was going to be. I knew there were some guys hot, and I think there was kind of a few guys on the list. So, you know, it's nice to see him get out there. He's a good pitcher. He gets stuff done. So,
how do you kill rain delays and kill that time?
Playing some sack, mafia, you know, just the usual stuff teams do. You know, just small talk, you know, hanging out with the guys. It's a good time. You know, it feels pretty, like, you know, you think it's boring in the time, but, you know, the best times are actually when you're talking to those teammates and, you know, getting closer with them. So,
are you more of a hacky sack guy or more of a mafia guy?
Oh, I like both. Hacky sack's fun at the beginning of games, but I like moff. Moff is pretty fun.
Good way to kill the time in between, especially. Do you have any big-time rain delay memories from back in the day?
The biggest one would have been at LSU this year when we were playing them at the box. All 3 games got rain delayed for about 5-6 hours. We were playing at 12 o'clock every day. You know, it's obviously at a stadium like that, you know, it's really cool. And then hanging out with the guys at that stadium is also just, it was a blast. You know, you got closer with everyone. I think the team bonds a lot more when, you know, you're at the field but not really playing. So it's a good time.
Do you guys interact with the other teams during rain delays?
You know, sometimes if you know a guy on the team, you'll go talk to him, but not usually. You know, you're both in your own dugouts or your own little locker room, so not too much. But if you do know a guy, like I knew someone and I went and said hi, so it was a good time, yeah.
Rain delays pretty usual out here, fog as well. You're from Canada, though. Are there any snow delays up there ever?
Yeah, there's just not much baseball, to be honest. You know, 2 months of the year you play, and then once I moved down here, it was eye-opening about playing about 10 months of the year. So it's definitely a culture change with baseball. You know, you're used to hockey up there, and there was, you know, you couldn't play outside much. It was a lot of indoor training, and then, you know, 2 months there you'd get at it, but that's about it.
Your dad's a hockey player. You're growing up in Western Canada. How do you pick up baseball up there?
Well, I was hockey and football growing up, and then my neighbor, good friends of mine, you know, they were like, hey, do you want to play this summer baseball team in Canada, you know, small little league, and I decided to, you know, just give it a shot. Why not? It was a fun time, had nothing else to do, and just started throwing the ball pretty well and then kept with it. You know, it ended up being a good choice. So.
Did you start off as a pitcher?
No, I was actually a way better hitter. And then, you know, up until about 8th grade, 9th grade year, I grew a bunch, couldn't swing a bat anymore, and then the ball started coming out better, so I just ran with it.
Do you ever still want to hit every once in a while?
Oh, yeah. No, I miss that. You know, when you can hit a ball at the stadium, it's probably the best feeling. I don't think there's anything that tops that.
Having those lanky mechanics sure often does help as a pitcher. When you mention that culture change going from Canada to the United States, is there anything else that really stands out to you from the play in Canada versus the play in the U.S.?
The skill level, for sure. You know, that's one thing. I mean, I came here to Texas when I moved down. It was pretty mind-blowing. You know, I didn't know if I was going to be playing the sport much longer. You know, you don't get the training and the facilities you do as you do in Texas, right? So, you know, you get there and you see all these people that are miles ahead of you because they've had this their whole life, and you have to kind of decide how bad you want it and, you know, if you want to work to get to where they are, and that's what I decided to do. So.
Did you move to Texas for baseball?
No, my mom's restaurant actually took us there. You know, we moved around a little bit in Canada, and then they opened up a spot in Texas, so we decided to take that chance, and it was probably the best choice ever.
What's the name of the restaurant?
Earl's Kitchen and Bar.
What do they serve?
Steak and bar. It's like everything. I mean, everything you could get.
Best thing on the menu?
I like the steak and sushi.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Steak and sushi, interesting combo.
It's really good. They have some good steak, and then the sushi, I mean, it just tops it off. So.
I bet. That sounds nice and fancy.
Yes, sir. It was great.
I would imagine. Chatting with Dane Burns on the Anglers Extra pregame show. It's Catch of the Day ahead of game 21 of the season here at Stony Brook Field in Brewster. A couple days ago on Monday, I heard you had a pretty eventful off day. Walk us through what you did that day.
Yeah, I had to fly down back to Starkville to handle some stuff, and then I flew up to Philadelphia the next morning to go get a new car. So it was a pretty exciting time.
New car? Did you drive it all the way out here?
I drove, yeah, from Philadelphia down to here. So.
What car did you buy?
Jeep Trackhawk, dream car.
Ooh. Dream car. What color?
Black. It's black right now, yeah.
Ooh, black in the summertime too. Has it gotten hot already?
Not too bad, no. It's pretty nice down here. Probably in Texas would be a little worse, but you know, here it's not too bad.
Mississippi year-round too. That might get a little hot.
A little hot for sure. You know, I'll have to deal with it. I think I'll be okay.
Are you a big car guy?
I haven't really been, for most of my life, but up until this past year or two, I really, wanted that, and it's kind of been the dream to get it. Nice. And then, so finally getting, to get that is it's a dream, so I'm excited.
I could only imagine. Ball flew over our heads, infield, outfield behind us going on right now at Brewster. Your old car, though, you've been a Jeep guy, right?
Yeah, I had a Jeep before this, a Jeep Wrangler, so, it wasn't too much of a change, just obviously different model and, a bit more power in it, so.
Have you felt the pickup already?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It drives nice.
You drive it here today?
Yeah. Well, I drove it to the field. We took the bus, but it's back at the field, yeah.
Could only imagine the drive back tonight would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it would be pretty fun. It's going to be nice.
5 o'clock start here in Brewster, so plenty of time for that drive back. We're almost at first pitch, but Dane Burns, want to thank you for joining Catch of the Day.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.